Hey guys, just trying to get some stuff organized here today. Working on a whitetail. Trying to get this one done up. It's a custom form, but I'll just take a quick peek and I'll show you here. You can see what I'm looking at. So don't mind the messy shop, but this was a very slight left turn, and customer wanted it altered, head down, hard turn. I couldn't find anything I liked as far as an actual form to fit. It's actually 24-inch neck on this thing, so decent whitetail. And yeah, I'll do some videoing today. I was various parts, prepping the cape and getting things organized and getting it mounted and sewn up. I'll keep you posted. Excuse me. All right, guys. Okay, I'm just gonna go through and thin out the nose pad and the eyes. Get those sorted out, thinned out a little bit. So the two tools that I use, I actually have an old bison horn I got off of a rancher around here, and then actually I just purchased one a little smaller. Use this as well. So nose, I'll use this. Eyes, I'll use this. Just put it in basically. And then I'm going to use my scalpel that I've got and just lightly shave and thin out the nose. Just work my way around. Just thinning the extra flesh. I tan all my own hides, so I do this a little bit when I'm fleshing and prepping, but I leave the final work till I'm actually mounting the deer. So yeah, just come in here, just slicing, just pressing gently across like that. Thinning it out, the nose pad a little bit. Ooh, a little too deep there. I'll patch that up. Yeah, I'll just go around both nostrils, do this whole thing. So just a bit of an example here, nice and tight. So you're gonna see I'm here and basically just gonna sharp scalpel. I'm just thinning it out. I can kind of tell how it feels and how it looks. Oops, man, a little bit dry maybe this hide, a little thin, but let's see, just thinning it all out. There, turn it a bit. There's a hole from being caped out, not by me. So just the splitting the nose, cutting it in half, cutting all this excess off. There we go. Pretty good. Get in here a little bit. Right there. So you can see how much I've thinned out. That's all extra. I can cut that off. Cool. Alright, I'll flip it around. A little bit here. You can see how it's kind of a little bit pink right there. Get that down to the skin. Like I said, I tan all my own hides, so I did this one a little quicker apparently than most, but doesn't take more than a couple minutes to thin this down. Alright guys, the same thing with the eyes. Just use my tool, gives you something to press against, thin it out. Alright. So same thing with the eyes. The actual lid is pretty thin, but I just do a little bit underneath, actually underneath the cheek kind of area. Just making sure that it's nice and thin so that when I let it dry, the thicker that it is, the more it shrinks, I find. So yeah, pretty simple, same idea. This here is the tear duct. I do actually thin that, and I actually, crazy enough, learned from a guy that I actually sew my tear duct closed before I mount. I'm able to tuck it a little bit better and get it to fit a little tighter and and easier. So I will sew both those tear ducts closed too. But yeah, just shaving off a little bit of the skin, making sure it's nice and thin in here. Awesome. Okay, most of it's trimmed up. So what I've done here is turn the face inside out. You can see I've just trimmed the ear butts a little bit so they fit nice. Now I will carve out the holes in the form, but do that. A couple little places I need to sew up. A little bit of an ear hole there, no problem. Little hole at the base of the ear. I'll sew that up. Just kind of get things touched up and be ready to go. Sew up the tear ducts as well. So there we go. That's the next step. Okay, time for ears. Very quickly, I took my pet brush and brushed out my ears, got my hair patterns nice and straight, make sure everything's good. Got my liners, my shapers, cold solo cup, Bondo, fiberglass resin, fiberglass mesh. I'll put a cup of the Bondo, tablespoon of the resin, a little bit of mesh in there, mix up, fill both ears, put them on my shaper, and let them dry. Piece of cake. I'll probably film this, but I'll do it sort of a 5 times speed so you guys can check it out. Now, I still have my cup, and I can tell by what's left in here how soft it is and how much it's hardening. This is important to keep, I find, because I can adjust this. So what I'm going to do at one point here, it's just a little tacky still. I'm going to slip my shaper out, lay this flat on my table. I have a hammer with a flat end. It's not gritted, it's not whatever, it's smooth. I just take this very gently, tap out my edges. Everyone talks about Bondo corners not being sharp. Everybody uses liners and everything. And I understand that. This is a very simple solution. I don't really enjoy using liners. A lot of work. Bondo, I can keep the ears shaped custom. All those edges are nice and crisp and flat. I simply pick it up, slide it back on the shaper, put it in, press. Done. Same with the other one. So while I was letting my ears dry, I've roughed up this whole form. It's all rough. It's all done. I've cleaned out my nose, cut in my lip lines, cut in my eye slots, roughed the whole form up. Scratched in my eyes, my clay will stick. Ready to go. So I just took and put a glove on my hand, pre-wrapped hide paste on my mount. I'll be able to slide my skin on, my hide on, and then I'll do all the face clay afterwards after it's already on. So there's another step. So I've got my mannequin level this way and this way. Got my eyes, aspherical, forward look, clay in the back. My pupil is marked this way, so the pupil is marked there and there, so I can line that up level. So, nail, a little bit of clay in there, push in my nail. What that does is allows when I put my eye in there, the nail will puncture the back of this clay and hold it in tight. So, line it up level with my lines in. Good to go. Other one, nail goes in, eyes level. Good to go. All right. All right, clay. I always do my top lid first. Start in the corner, look up, back, hold it in place. Just smash the angle on there, the edge of it on. I know it's kind of far away with the camera, but I'll zoom in here. And underside, there. And just like that, we've already got a rough shape of the eye. So I'll do a little bit of smoothing, but practice makes perfect. Now on these big old whitetail, I like to have a little bit bigger brow, so I'm going to build up the top part a little bit. Fade it into the mannequin. Now I admittedly usually have a bigger top brow than most people. I just find a lot of the deer out here when I shoot pictures and stuff, or I skin stuff out, this muscle up here, the eyelid, is significantly larger than some of the other ones I see on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, reference photos. There we go. Very general look. I'll show you how that looks. So from the front, very general shape. As I tuck it in, I'll adjust it, but that gives you an idea as to what I'm doing. All right. Yeah, same thing, top, brown, cut it off, smooth it in, bottom, the piece, there we go, smooth it off. Now this deer being a hard left turn, my right eye on this side, I'm going to have a bit more rear white on the pupil, behind the pupil showing, just because that deer is probably turning its head, turning its body, and looking that way. So we're going to tuck in this one here. We won't see hardly any white pupil, but this side here we will see, and I'll show you here in a second what I mean by that. Just trying to keep it anatomically correct and natural. Little details like this are really what puts your mounts above everybody else's, I feel. So A little bit of blending here. There we go. All right, so you're going to see pretty uniform. On this side, you're going to see how we've got a little bit of white showing there? And on this one, we don't have that. All right, there's a rough out of the eyes, just like that, guys. Lots of experience and stuff. I'm going to cover the skull cap here with some clay, and then I'll hide paste the face, pull the nose up, get everything going, and start tucking some ears and eyes, get some things pulled back. We'll be good. Okay, so what I've done is I've covered the skull cap with clay, just to fill it in a little bit. With that head tip down, you will see a little bit of top of the skull right here. You'll see that. And then I did a little bit of a Roman nose. This is an old deer. And not often do I add any vein, but this is a late season deer as well. So the face fur is very, very thick and long. I just wanted to accentuate that just a little bit to make it look a little more bold. So I'm pretty much done for clay roughed in. We'll put some hide paste on the face and the neck. And we'll pull that up and get it started. There you can see I've covered the front half of the head. I don't put any on the top. I will, when I start sewing up the Y and pulling it back, I will lift it up and takes a little wood, little spatula thing, and just a toothpick or a popsicle stick, and put it in there and like smear it around to help underneath here. Right now I just do from ears forward, around the pedicles, good to go. So here we go. Gently pull it up, put that in place. I use barbecue skewers there, stick those in here, stick them in. Let's adjust that one, it's not quite high enough. There, those just kind of hold me rough. So for now, my eyes are pulled out, untucked. Can adjust my hide around the pedicle. There we go. Hold that. Up in place. Around the pedicle. Oops. There. Let's turn the nose inside out and slip it down into place. All of this gets adjusted back. So his hairlines adjust. Eyes. Pretty good there. There we go. So there's the rough position of everything. Make sure my hairlines are lined up proper. There we go. There's a start. So now usually what I'll do now is this is being held by my skewers so it won't fall forward. I can adjust my neck hair just a little bit. And those ears are going to get tucked up high. There we go. Like that. Because it's such a hard turn, I'm going to have some folds in here, which is totally cool. This side's okay. Looks like that's going to come up nice on the back side. There we go. So yeah, usually what I'll do now is I'll trim my eyelids, I'll tuck my eyes, ears, and mouth. At the end of that, I'll come back and start sewing. Good to go. I'll maybe try to show you tucking some things, but yeah. Okay, so I've cut this eyelid, but I have these wicked little sewing scissors with a curved blade. These things are awesome. So I'm going to cut these. I've got the whole thing on here. I leave it on there all the time whenever I'm doing things. But I will poke a little hole and cut. And I leave, everybody says 1/4 inch. I probably leave 3/8 of an inch, a little bit long than some people. Just cutting. Just to allow me lots of skin to tuck. There we go. So there's the tubed eyelid. The excess cut off. And I've got my 1/4 inch to 3/8 inch skin there. You can see how it's going to lay real nice. Just like that. So do have a lip tucker. But this is my favorite tool for tucking eyes. Nice and small, curved edge. Alright, so I usually tuck my front corner first. Try not to get in the way here. So I'll pull my eyelids out. Make sure they're good. Find that front corner. Tuck that in. And halfway on top. Tuck it in. Halfway on the bottom. Tuck it in. And then tuck the back. And I can go back to the front. Adjust it. You can see how it sucks in nice. There we go. Pop my skin out, or my clay out. There we go. Really very, very simple. I should have mentioned before, on my tear duct slot, I had clay in there. You probably saw it in some of the little video parts. I put that clay in there to help take up the space in that little slot. It's super, super tight. So when I tuck this, it's going to go in there and it's going to basically be as tight as I can get it. With a little bit of clay, I can kind of push it together as it's drying and keep that joint nice and tight. All right. So, just like that. Tuck my eye, top part, my top lid. Get a nice little shape to the front of the eye. Now the front of the eye should go up this way, round, and sort of slant back. So it's higher up here than it is here. Just tucking that in nice, making sure my eyelid's nice and tight. A little bit of excess clay there, but all right. Trying to work with the camera here, but just push it in a little. I'm just trying to pull up all of the long eyelashes, get those facing the right way. They will naturally flop down a little bit, so I pull them kind of outwards. Same with the eyebrows. Pull all these lashes out. I've got good coverage in glue here, so it's sticking nice. There we go. There. So you're going to see the eye looks a little closed more than it normally would be. But I know it's going to dry and shrink up just a little bit. So you can see how this portion is higher than the back portion. Actually, I can see this portion here right there is a little bit too high. It should be a little bit lower, so I'm going to just adjust that a little bit, but pull that down just to keep that bottom nice and round. And then I'll just adjust my eyelashes. I usually have them down, pointing down about 15 degrees. Not down lots, not straight out, or definitely not up, but just down about 15 degrees. All these eyelashes all through here. There we go. And here's the big long ones on top. And as that dries, we'll leave it. I don't put my crease in for my eyelid until tomorrow when that clay's a little bit harder. Just allows me to get a little more detail. And then I can adjust my tear duct here. Find that line. Tuck it in. There we go. Now, something I do, got one here, I think. One of these T-pin with the screwdriver. Oops. This T-pin, I'm going to take and put in that crease. And I've sewed this duct up. So this is going to hold. So I will take this, put it through the sewn mark, and that tear duct comes out. The line that I've cut comes out, goes down, and then comes over. Right? That's how that gets cut. On that horizontal, that angled part, that's where this T-pin's going. So I will take that, push it in. As you can see, it's just right there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my screwdriver, not in line with it, but across it. I'm actually going to take it and I push it in and suck that hair in. And then I'm going to correct my line. There we go. So now I've got a tear duct that's being held in by a T-pin, nice and flush. And it ain't going to come out. If it does, it'll come out very little. I'll be able to adjust it. But I'll be able to push this skin together as it's drying. So you see all my hairlines are good. Little scar right there, that's all right. Everything's good. I've got my little vertical there for my T-pin. And I create a mock tear duct. There you go. It's nice and easy, very subtle. It shouldn't be giant. I'll adjust the clay showing right there, but good to go. First day drying will be just fine. Adjust the back a little bit. Remember I said that the back on this side's not going to have much of a, if any, white of the eye showing. There we go. On to the other one. Okay, so I got most everything tucked, face tucked, nose tucked, lips tucked, but like I mentioned, I don't adjust the nose till afterwards. You can see here, I have to bring the nasal part drilled down more to adjust for this shape of nose for this deer. So yeah, the hole up here is okay, but I have to adjust and bring it down to allow some of this white to get tucked in. So I got a Dremel tool, I'm going to do that on both sides. Otherwise it doesn't fit too bad. You can see I actually on this one, on the fit, I actually over tucked the bottom lip. There's no little bottom lip just showing right here. I'll build it up if I need to, and then I'll just patch the nose in and we're good. I'll adjust hair patterns. Yeah, it's getting there. All right, I did a little adjustment here just on the nose. Got her all figured out. You can see the hair pattern here actually is a little bit different than the other one, so I'll touch up with paint at the end. But there we go. Trying to get the camera angle right here. Should be pretty good. So I will bend her down, get a little bit more clay packed in the ear butts, start sewing her up. Like I said, it's a little more white here, and brown will get touched up with paint just to even that out a little bit for that look. Good to go, guys. Little things every time. Just wanted to show you guys, so you can see where I've pre-packed the ear butt right in here with clay, and then right there with clay. What I'm actually going to take now and tuck a little bit in here and down underneath to get that proper fit and proper look to the ear. There's a little more muscle down here in this space because the way the ears are going to get tucked. I have room to build out that a little bit to get that musculature to look proper. So we'll do that, and then this pulls in, this pulls down, and we'll get her sewn up. Okay, so I've got the Y sewn up, the two short parts. I'm just gotta do that part now. What I'm gonna do, I was talking about, is under here, under this skull cap, there's a little bit, I can fit my finger in there, a little bit of space. I'm gonna take this popsicle stick with some hide paste on it, slide it under there, slide it under there, smear it around, and be able to push it towards the pedicles to hold that skin from moving around. All right, other than that, this doesn't really get glued in here. It can be, you can put hide paste in there. I have hide paste like on the side, just this top part doesn't, but this part I do put some in there underneath this part just to glue it down, get a nice fit, nice tight seal around the pedicles so it doesn't shrink and pull away too much. All right. Okay, I just wanted to go over the stitch I use on the Y, especially the long tail portion of the Y. I think it's called a box stitch. I don't really know, but what I do is I come up this side, from the underside to the top, go over, down through the pelt, and underneath, down, up, over, through, under, up, through, over, down, through, under, up, through, over, down, through, under. It creates this brick type stitch. And we tighten it up, it basically stretches and tightens straight together. If you loop things over and loop it over and loop it over, it creates a bunching, and that's not what you want. These Y seams will look a lot nicer, even any kind of seam will look a lot nicer if you use this kind of stitch where it just squeezes it straight together. It's all like a straight lateral pressure. It's not a twist or a bunching and a gathering. So just wanted to point that out. All right, there we go. Backload all the hair. Looking real nice. Got my subtle creases in here on my hard left turn. Hair is all nice and fluffed up. Ears are nice and fluffy the way they're supposed to be. Long hair whitetail. Looking good. You can see the hair here. Hair patterns all look nice. This will lay pretty good down the brisket. You see how fluffy and long hair this thing is. Yeah, turned out real good. All right, beautiful Saskatchewan whitetail.